Welcome students, this is our second 6 weeks test review. The date of our test is on 11/5, that's next class period on Wednesday. Remember that we're going to be working on your test first, and then when you finish your test you're going to get to work on your project. Make sure that you bring your project if you took it home with you, because we don't want you to have to start over. There won't be time to start over and complete it all in one day. Alright, let's get started into the review. I've only worked selected problems here on this video. You're responsible for all the problems. All the problems may be on the test, so I wanted to make sure that you know that, but I'm just working some of the ones that'll help you out. Alright, so we learned how to do single variable inequalities. Single variable inequalities require us to solve using inverse operations. Remember, that just means doing the opposite of what you see. The other thing is, if you divide or multiply by a negative, you have to flip. And a lot of you guys missed that on your checkpoint. You didn't flip. So I'm going to rewrite this so that it's bigger. Negative 3x minus 2x less than 5. We draw our line down. We check out both sides to see if we need to simplify. This left side has two things that are like terms, so we do negative 3x minus 2x is negative 5x. Bring down our less than, bring down our 5. And then we're already to the last step. When it's beside it, we divide it. So divide both sides by negative 5. That becomes x. The sign flips because of this right here. I divided by a negative. 5 divided by negative 5 is negative 1. Remember, we had our faces to help us remember, and you can write this on your review sheet to help you. Okay. This symbol gets an open circle, so we're going to do an open circle at negative 1. This points to the right, so we draw to the right. That's what the graph of this looks like. Okay, if we're going to state our domain and range, one of the best ways to do this is to make a table or a t-chart and just plot every point. So let's start here. Let's plot this one. That's negative 2 to the left, up 2, so negative 2, 2. This one, negative 2, 1, 2, 3, negative 3, negative 2, negative 3. This one is right 1, up 1, 2, 3. This one is right 2, down 1, 2, 3. Okay. Domain. Remember, Dr. XY, domain is X, range is Y. So these are all of our domain values, and we list them in order. Negative 2. We don't list repeaters. 1, 2. Our range is our Y's. Same thing here. We go in order. Negative 3, positive 2, and 3. And we don't list repeaters. Alright. This is a continuous function. Continuous because it is connected. The previous one we did, the dots were discrete. So on this we have to set up our boundaries. Domain is left to right. So domain, remember, the robot, domain, left, right. So this crossed negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. So we start with negative 4. This crosses at negative 1. Domain is always X. We always start with less thans. Open circles, according to our face, gets no lines underneath it. I remember the face. So no lines underneath it. Range is robot. Range, bottom to top. So how low does it go? To how high does it go? Okay. A lot of people drew their line right there, and that is not the place to draw it. And you cannot draw your line right there. Okay? That's not the top. The top is all the way up here. So this crossed at negative 1, and then at the top it's 1, 2, 3 at 3. Range is Y. We always start with less thans. Open circle means we leave it open at negative 1, but up here there's no circle, so where they touch right there, that gets a line under it. Evaluation. And so in function evaluation and function notation, we learned that f of x is just another way for writing y. So if we want to find f of negative 1 for this, we've made a table here. It's an xy table, but we want f of -1, so we're looking for where is the graph when the x is -1. So right here is an x of -1, so I'm going to go up and find the graph from there. It's right there, which is, we're going to say that's 3. Okay, I know it's a little bit off, but we're going to say it's 3. Then we do the same thing here when x is 5. When x is 5, we go up. Right there it is. That's up 1. This one says when y is -1, we want x. So a y of -1 is here. So we go find the graph. It's right there. And that is at 8. And then again here, when y is 4, what is x? So y is 4 is right here, and x is 0 there. Alright, next problem here. It says which of the set of ordered pairs represents y as a function of x? So this is just, is it a function or not? Remember, this was our yes or no lesson. Remember that x can't repeat with a different y. Okay? So -9, 0, 1, -3. So no repeaters in there, so that one looks to be okay. -1, 4, -7, -1. -1 repeats once with 0, once with 8, so that is definitely not a function. 3, -4, 3, -4. So 3 repeats with 2 and with 1, so that makes it not a function. Also -4 repeats. 5, 2, 1, 2, 4. 5, 2, 1, 2. So 2 repeats here with 3 and with 4, so that makes it not a function. So A was the function. Right. We can use the vertical line test here. You draw your lines down. And as long as your lines draw down and only hit once, then it's a yes. Here, yes. But right here, it hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And so that makes it a no. Alright. So we got a couple of ways so we can do this. We could do stat edit in our calculator, which we'll do that. We could do the slope formula. We could plot these on a graph somewhere and count it out. Or we could go from 5 to 3 is down 2. From 1 to 0 is down 1. -2 over -1. -2 divided by -1 is +2. And there's our answer. If we go to stat edit, we push stat on our calculator. 1 for edit. Stat edit. Under L1. Under L1 we put 1, 0, -1. And under L2 we put 5, 3, 1. So 1, 0, -1. Then on the other side we put 5, 3, 1. Stat calc 4, enter. It tells us that our A is 2 and our B is 3, and we learned that A is our slope and when we do stat edit. So again, it just points to 2. You also need to make sure that these words are in your vocab. You need to know what slope means. Main thing, it's rise over run. It's a change in y over the change in x, a change in vertical over the change in horizontal. You need to know that domain is x's, that range is y. You need to know that a table is a t-chart. You need to know that function notation deals with f of x. Dependent is y. Dependent is also your output. Independent is your x, and that's your input. You need to know that a function is a relation where it's a one-to-one situation, where every x goes with exactly every x with one y. And then a graph is a picture on a coordinate plane. Okay, make sure you're ready for your test.